People, Deluded, I'm back again. Thank you very much for pressing that button. My niece pressed the start button of the video for me, people. Close the door for me, please. Thank you. Make sure you lift it up. Thank you. People, I'm babysitting my niece. She's gone to play right now, but I'm making videos. She insisted on starting the video. You got to do what you can for the kids, and yeah, I'm back again, people. Now, it's a stressful one, people. I'm not going to go into it. I don't want to say I'm tired of hearing about the coronavirus because it's a serious epidemic worldwide, but tired of speaking about it and whatnot. But we know it's cancelled football. How long football will be cancelled for is one thing. It's been, postponed until April the 3rd or 4th. I don't know how I feel about that because I hope football's back. I hope that, we're able to try to move forward with the sort of disease that's at hand and continue like nothing's normal. But what's there to say that April the 3rd, everything's just going to go to normal? Because it seems like it's accelerating, what's to say the situation isn't going to be worse? I obviously hope it isn't, but I don't know. And a lot of what you read online via the major publications, you see stuff about the privately the clubs are even thinking about September, if not writing off the season in some capacity, people. So it's sad. It's nice to see. Well, it's sad because you're seeing a lot of other players now, a lot of Italian footballers, and I think there was a German lad testing positive for this. But obviously Callum Hudson-Odoi is making progress, so good for him. Apparently Arteta is already feeling better, Arsenal fans, after obviously testing positive. Apparently he's in good spirits, and yeah, I just hope he's in good spirits and he's getting over it at the end of the day, people. He said on Twitter, thank you for your words and support. We all face a huge and unprecedented challenge. Everyone's health is all that matters right now. Protect each other by following the guidelines. And what more can you say from that? Lovely to see our managers on the mend. And I know somehow he's probably phoning the Arsenal team and saying, against Burnley, you could have dropped. And that's what we want to drop back and stuff. You want to see that from our gaffer. Greg Clark allegedly has told the Premier League that he does not think the domestic football season will be completed. And it's a difficult one because you could imagine there's severe financial implications, not just for fans, but obviously the big organisations. Listen, obviously I would love Liverpool not to get handed the title on a banter thing, but when we're serious, Liverpool should be handed that title. But away from Liverpool, how do you quantify everything? Because if you say, okay, let's end the league now in the positions everyone finishes in currently, okay, that's fair enough. If you've been in poor or good form, that's on you. But obviously the mathematics come into play. Who's to say the teams that got the Champions League spaces or are safe from relegation wouldn't have gone on to drop points? Do you get it? So it's a difficult decision, especially for the promoted and relegated teams in the Championship and Premier League respectively. Champions League places will throw up a debate as well. Liverpool deserve to be given the Premier League, and if they're not, if somehow it's stripped of theirs or the season's voided, it'd be disappointing as a football fan. Like, don't get it twisted. Obviously, it'd be funny, but it'd be disappointing because they've worked hard. The City has missed that for 30 years. They can't control the coronavirus. They're leading the league by like 25 points. It would be sad, really. It'd be sad. It's sad, man. And you've seen the Euros postponed. You're seeing a lot of events postponed. I hope Carnival doesn't get postponed, but I think it will. So it is what it is, man. Shout out to Arteta, and we'll see what's happening. Interestingly, though, people, apparently the National League has allowed the weekend scheduled fixtures in its 3 divisions to go ahead as planned, despite the outbreak. Again, I saw this on Friday, so it's obviously Saturday now. So again, I don't know if any progress has been made, but that's pretty alarming if the Football League are going against the grain and not following suits of what the other leagues in this country are doing, which is quite sad. Arsenal fans, former Arsenal and Barcelona player Willam has actually announced his retirement. At 30 years of age, he now hangs up his boots. So yeah, apparently he's making a documentary, people, as well. But he went on to say, I thought a lot, sought advice, but also decided internally after this season that was enough. Obviously you guys know from 05 to 08 he was here for 3 seasons, and he was a very good technical footballer. He was a decent player, and he was obviously iconic for the socks and the shin pads as well as the Puma boots. So yeah, man, he's obviously had a long career, and at 38 it's time to make the next step in his career and his family life and whatnot. Rumours of William to Arsenal won't go away, people, and apparently William is on doing it if we qualify for the Champions League. As you lot know, apparently he's seeking a 3-year deal. Chelsea are only prepared to offer him, based on reports, a 1-year deal, and some are saying a 2. So they're not down for giving him a 3 and whatnot, people. So we'll see how that one progresses. Moving away from that, apparently Freddie Ljungberg was one of the reasons why Bukayo Saka is filling in at fullback. He's, again, this report doesn't say, you know, Ljungberg was the one who said Eureka, because he's done it a lot for England. He's done it a lot for youth level at Arsenal. But I think it's an interesting thing that our former academy director, Jonker, said. He said, there was always this power and speed when he was a winger, and Freddie was the one behind the change. Freddie had a big confidence in Bukayo. There were a lot of rumours the biggest clubs were very, very interested in Bukayo. We were convinced that he should get a scholarship and a professional contract after. At the time, he was a left winger and he was quite big for his age. He was tall, strong. He was a 13-year-old boy when I first saw him, faster and stronger than the others. The question was, is he this good because of his physical power, or is this good because he can really play? And I think it's a bit of both. He can play. I think that's interesting because it shows, you know, how puberty works, because again, I didn't see Saka in school, but it seems like he was one of the biggest youths. And now you'd say he's not small, he's strong. He's kept a lot of that, but he's not necessarily the tallest in the side. So I think that's it. It's always odd how these things work out. And he is very strong. I think he's the strongest out of all these young players. The two things I love in particular about Bukayo Saka, first and foremost, he's calculated. He can do the the tricks. He can do step overs. But for me, he's not on that. If he's going to do a skill, he's clocked it in his head. I need to do this to get past you, put the ball in the box and get an assist. He's very calculated for such a young man. And I like that he's strong. You can tell he eats his food. He eats that Nigerian food. You know how Nigerians do. You know he's been eating that food because he's tough. He's got that core. I love that, man. Too many young players. Obviously, he's not the biggest and the strongest, but too many young players, you see them get out-muscled and things. And as someone that was on the flip side, was very small for my age during puberty, I love to see people being strong, especially someone like Bukayo Saka. So I think that's interesting, man. Obviously, it's interesting that the big clubs have been covering him for a while. So yeah, and one thing I'd throw in a third about Bukayo Saka is people forget about it. Coachability and the ability to retain information. Like, clearly, it doesn't go in one ear and out the other. He's retaining information. He's trying to learn and improve. And I like his temperament and things. And it doesn't matter how good you are. If you haven't got a certain mindset, you cannot improve. And that's the difference. Like I think I saw a quote. I can't remember it. But it's like up until 16, talent gets you there. And beyond that, it's your mentality. Because the older you get, obviously talent becomes more and more of a subjective thing, and the goalposts start moving, and it becomes more of a job thing. So it's lovely to see Bukayo Saka. Obviously, you're hearing a lot of contract talks and 35k a week, 5-year deals. Fingers crossed, everything crossed that he signs that, people. Very interesting words from Jonker. Obviously, shout out to Ljungberg and all the coaching staff that has helped Bukayo get to this stage, man, because this is what the academy is about. Like, many players are not going to make it, so when one comes through, they need to be good, and Saka is that. How much money has Saka saved us if he goes on to be a 10-goal, 10-assist a season left winger, or a competent England and Arsenal regular at fullback? How much money has he saved us? You look at Trent Arnold in today's day and age. Does 50 million even get you a decent fullback in this day and age? So, and I'm saying Trent's worth more than that. How much has Trent saved them? Do you get it? Just from coming through their academy and being a competent player. We need more and more of these situations. We need to obviously do the scouting thing when you see man like Martinelli come through into the team, and we need people to come from Hale End. And then where we can't plug the gaps, we go out and buy players that can boost us to the next level, and players that can make the difference. Really, we need to marry what I've said in a previous vid of trying to do the Dortmund thing, unearthing gems, and I'd say to a degree Chelsea. You look at Reece James, Tammy, could sit into I'm blue in the face and scream all of these players that have come through their academy. First and foremost, they've got players for the first team. Second of all, if they ever decide to sell some, they're making money. How much is Tammy Abraham alone going for? You'd say 50, 60 to even start negotiations, whether you believe he's worth that or not, such is the climate of football, people. Moving away from that though, and Mikel Sylvester's had stuff to say in relation to Saliba, and he believes he'll make an instant impact at Arsenal, and I do. The fan in me wants him to come, and we plan in the summer, whether it's David Luiz and Saliba or a new centre-back in Saliba. The coach in me, and away from emotion, implies to me that he'll get significant game time, but at least at this time he might be third choice. I say that because he's still got a lot to learn. I think from what I'm seeing, watching him for Saint Etienne, I think he's got all the tools to be a good player here. I think he might struggle with his body positioning, especially in recovery positions, and he's not slow, but I'd say pace on the turn could be a weak point of his. His positioning's good, but he could improve slightly reading of the game. And he's still a young and really inexperienced man for all his potential in the scheme of things. So we're going to need him to learn them harsh lessons. Obviously, in the French league, it does look like as a centre-half, you get a lot of time on the ball. To a degree at Arsenal, the way teams set up against us, he will get that as well. But the culture shock, the fast pace, people trying to clamp you and rip out your ears every minute, he will have to deal with. I think he'll be a great player for us in the future, and I think he'll hit the ground running and in the medium and short term be a good player for us as he seeks to improve. I think he's got all the tools. I really am excited about him. I do think fans, and I have to keep saying this, have to be prepared to just allow him, because I look at games against Metz, I look at the semi-final in the League Cup in France, where he got terrorised by Diallo against Metz, and where he gave away, he just had a shocking game, and I'm sure he gave away a penalty against Bordeaux, so he's got lessons to learn as a man, but I'm happy to have him, man. It's been a while since I've been genuinely excited about a defensive player at Arsenal, just a defensive man in general, and I think he's that. And we've got a decision to make at centre-half, as you know, people, because you've got Holding. Obviously, the injuries maybe took a bit out of him, whether he has an opportunity or goes out on loan and tries to prove people wrong that he can have a future here. Ironically, Maitland and Holding signed new deals not too long ago, and they seem to be players, especially being English, that we could go and get some decent funds on. But you've got Holding, you've got Chambers to see his level when he recovers, you've got Saliba, you've got Socrates, Mustafi and David Luiz, whose contracts all run out at the same time. You've got Marie, who looks to be made permanent. Personally, in addition to Saliba, I want a new centre-half. So there's a lot of decisions to be made in that position in particular. You've got I've even forgot Mavropanos. Below that, you've got Daniel Ballard, you've got Ben Shafe, who can play in midfield as well as centre-half on loan at Doncaster. You've got Harry Clark, who's had a decent season. Who else is there? You've got Zach Medley, who I think is a season wasted for him, spending at 23's level. He really could have went out and left and played some first-team football on loan somewhere. You've got a couple others, so a decision's going to have to be made on a number of defensive prospects in general, but specifically centre-halves, in my humble opinion, people. Yeah, and apparently Mikel Sylvester has gone on to say, I didn't even mention it, people. He said, Willam Saliba will start from the get-go when he joins Arsenal next season. He's currently playing for a struggling Saint Etienne side, which he is, and putting in performances. But his performances have been good and he's been consistent. Defensively, he's strong, so he will be looking to impress in pre-season. He'll need to adapt in that period, but he has enough time to learn from Arsenal staff and players. He's still very young, but has had great experience from his time in Ligue 1. He'll continue to learn from the current centre-halves, but he'll have a big part to play from day one. And people might laugh, but I'm looking at him to learn from that experienced 34-year-old Perrin. I ain't got corona, people. I'm good, trust me. But I'm looking at him to learn from Debussy, who's a right back, and obviously Perrin in regards to especially positioning and the dark arts of being a centre half and being street smart. Because the quicker he can be street smart, read the game a bit better, drop off a couple yards, make that little foul to break up play without the refs clocking it, the quicker you're going to be a better centre half, people. He's got all the tools to be a good centre half, and I'm confident in Arteta because Arteta's come in and we're defending a bit better. He's getting several players that we didn't feel could be of the capability to move us forward, kind of showing us something. Like, who would have thought we'd be sitting there saying, no disrespect to him, but Mustafi first name on the team sheet. That's credit to Mustafi for turning his thing around, but it's also credit to Arteta. So if he can do that with these players, no disrespect to them. What could he do with a Saliba? What could he do with a quality centre half? No disrespect again, but for real former side, really. Listen, Luiz has gone way up in my book. Socrates, I got respect. Mustafi, I'm always singing his praises. But former side, if the season restarts again, whenever it does, if I sit here and you lot ask me, am I 100% confident in August or whenever the season restarts that these lot are going to get me my clean sheets and be part of the stability to get us moving forward? I'm not sure, people. I'm really not sure. The cynic in me is starting to see Mustafi's been in good form, but his contract is up, people. We've tried for years to move him on. Could there be no better time to get him? People might want to buy him on the cheap. Socrates seems to be getting frozen out. Do you move that one on? It's naive to believe all three will go, but I think we can ride with Luiz. Obviously, Marie, I think we should make that permanent, or the club going to. New centre-half for me as well as Saliba. Then you've got Callum Chambers and Holding. A decision has to be made. A part of me wants to play both of them. A part of me thinks, well, we don't know where Chambers is going to be with his injury. And I feel harsh saying that on Chambers, because I think Chambers should get his chance. If Chambers was fit, I genuinely believe Arteta would have moved forward with him. But I don't know how much he'll drop off a level. So, again, there's a big decision to be made in relation to that. I haven't got it here to hand, people, but I'm pretty sure I came across some transfer stuff and whatnot along my day today on Twitter, and I think I DM'd myself and that. So, like a weirdo, that sounded like such a low life. I DM myself the information, people. Like I said, football authorities in England and Europe are braced for a total shutdown of the game at least until September. One suggestion regarding UFL qualification would be to allow teams who qualified for this season's tournament to keep their places next season, and then entry any additional sides currently in qualification positions, including expanding the qualification phase. That would mean Leicester going into a qualifying round for the UCL with Liverpool City subject to the Court of Arbitration Sport hearing, Chelsea and Spurs holding on to their places in the tournament. But United, Wolves, Sheffield United would no doubt obviously object to this. That's courtesy of ZRAFC on Twitter. Very good account. According to reports in Brazil, we've been watching Internacional's 20-year-old centre-half Bruno Fuchs, and we watched him in action yesterday. I don't know who they played, but I'm going to do my research on him. You've seen the screenshot and try and learn what I can. Obviously, it seems like we're trying to do a thing in South America for different reasons. Martinelli, you saw a young, unearthed gem. Marie was a player that didn't really have much success in Europe. People might have turned their noses at. Why is that? Come on. People might have turned their noses at. We've taken a chance on him, sort of thing. So it's lovely to see. Obviously, we can speculate a number of reasons as to why we're looking at Brazil. We've obviously got Edu, who's Brazilian by nature. We've got Raul Sanllehi, who's obviously got a lot of contacts and whatnot, allegedly, across the continent of South America. And this is what we need to do. Listen, 90% of these rumours are wasp, but when you hear we're looking at 16-year-olds that are making their debuts out there, when you're hearing we're looking at young defenders and things, we need to do it, car. Listen, I want us to buy established players like everyone, but scouts need to do their job. And from what we're told, Arsenal can't afford to get into bidding wars. So we need to go and get these men before they turn up. Because just off the top of my head, before, Koulibaly, someone took a chance of him to bring him to Napoli. Van Dijk, someone took a chance to Celtic. You need to get these sort of men before that sort of thing happens, Because we can buy established players because we do have the money, but as fans, we're always told we don't and all these things. So, I don't know, but it's lovely to hear we're looking at him. And he's 20, so he's of a good age, of course. Apparently, he's a really promising centre-half from the things I read, but I've never watched him, people. I'm going to do my research. I'm sure many Arsenal fans, you'll always get onto me, and I must admit, I'm more warm to this suggestion. Apparently, Wolves star Diogo Jota has been added to Arsenal's wish list ahead of a busy summer as Mikel Arteta plots a rebuild with Arsenal. This is courtesy of the Daily Mail. The Gunners are known to be looking at wide attackers, and Jota, 23, is thought to be prominent on their list, which is decent, people. Mikel Arteta plotting his comeback from his bedside. I'd love to hear that. I would take him. He's obviously a decent player. He's energetic. If he could get more goals and assists, why not? How much are Wolves going to ask us for? Because again, 50 million is the new 25 for everybody. So he's a fairly established Premier League player. Wolves could be getting Champions League and finishing ahead of us. Obviously, Arsenal and Wolves were a bigger club and all these things. But currently, what it makes beyond the prestige of Arsenal and maybe the law of playing under Mikel Arteta and helping us rebuild, is it as straightforward as it might have been 5 years ago, Wolves to Arsenal? I don't think it is. I think Jota, he should cherish that he's important to the Wolves side. He's part of it. They're playing in Europa League like us. In fact, they're still in it. He's feeling important, playing under his fellow countrymen in Nuno Espirito. Obviously, opportunities don't always come, but he's young enough for a move. You're playing with some good players. no disrespect to Jota, because I'll be on it, but if we had to splash or try and go for any player at Wolves, apologies, for me it's Ruben Neves, no contest, people. That's just me personally, but it is in that front, people. I don't think there's any more transfer news and all of these sort of things. I'll do a little thingy. Oh, apparently, well, I haven't read this, but I've seen it on Twitter. After telling Mikel Arteta he wanted to end his loan spell at the club in January, The Athletic understands Dani Ceballos was one of the most impressive performers during Arsenal's training camp in Dubai, and Arteta's staff were pleasantly surprised by his attitude. And that's how it clearly, Arteta is someone that he wants to see what you're doing in training and then you'll play. Joe Willock, whether you believe him or not, has started games because of that. Eddie Nketiah stayed and trained and now he's playing. Maitland-Niles isn't playing because he's not impressing. Publicly Arteta kind of dug him out. Ceballos had the same treatment. And Ceballos is provoked a reaction in Ceballos. And so obviously Guendouzi as well to a degree, but it's provoked a reaction. He's gone from playing 21 minutes in an FA Cup tie where he really should start to first name on the team sheet. Fans are praising him, and he's doing right now what we hoped he would be doing when obviously he first landed from Real Madrid. Playing well not playing quite well to that your PFA, and it's Real Madrid could rebuild, but it's looking like a sort of thing. What he needed to do at Arsenal is play to the level where people say, why did Real Madrid let you go? They have to use you as part of your rebuild. Spain have to take you to Euros. It would harm Arsenal, but he's playing so well. You're hearing other clubs are trying to terminate his loan spell and buy him permanently for the next season and stuff. But it's lovely to see what he's doing. He's found a little role in the team, which us fans are kind of calling for whether you believe in Ozil or not. We were screaming, why can't an Ozil and a Ceballos play together? It felt like it was either or for a minute. Because one thing, regardless of what you believe about them, because they're not perfect, both of them, and they actually switch positions at times. They can stay further up the field, and that's one thing I loved about Santi Cazorla at the team, especially when I used to go Emirates. And at times it was just Mesut Ozil, Santi Cazorla, and Alexis Sanchez passing to each other, and Santi allowed Ozil to stay higher up the field. It's not an excuse; you have to dig out the game, but you don't always want your cams going deep. In fact, in the last FA Cup game, first half, when Joe was playing there, he was having to drop deep. So as a team, there's things we could do differently. So it's lovely to see that. So Arteta sparked a reaction of some sorts to Ceballos. At the end of the day, he's playing well. And look, at least for now, all these rumours about Real Madrid terminating and Ceballos not happy and what's to change his situation. It's lovely to hear, because clearly he stopped crying and feeling sorry for himself, and he sat there and he thought, why aren't I playing? Why haven't I been a main star at Real Madrid? Why haven't I been the first name on the team sheet at a team where I've gone from winning Champions League to stepping down to a fallen giant Europa League? I should be, no disrespect to my teammates, but I should be first name on the team sheet. I've got more ability in my left pinky than they have, sort of thing. That should be, in a healthy way, his mentality. And he started thinking, there's a reason why my career at this point might not be where I want. Let me roll my socks up, at least for this season. If I roll my socks up, apply myself and really believe in my heart that I've given it my all, sort of thing, and I can look myself in the mirror and say that, and if Arteta's still not playing me, then I've done what I can. But clearly he's got a reaction, and I like that from Arteta, because obviously at times clearly you can already see how that long term in his managerial career here can go on the flip side, people. That pushing players, good or bad, sometimes you don't get the reaction. But same way Arteta's got a good relation with players. It's lovely to see Ceballos is playing, because at the end of the day, see how all the rumours are gone. Start playing football, rumours die out. Want to see him perform to a slightly better standard, but long may it continue. I think he's been playing well in that pivot with Xhaka. I don't think there's any other news. If there is, I'll be here to speak about them. Corona or no Corona, football or no football, Deluded vids will be there in some capacity. On that note though, people, Deluded, I'm out. Thank you for watching and rocking each and every time. God bless. See you all soon. Comment, subscribe, share up the vid. I also need you guys to do me one big favour as well. I never ask you lot for much, but it's the Football Content Awards. I'll put it in the description. Please vote for me. I just want to get nominated, really and truly. Obviously, I put in a lot of work with my craft, and it'll be lovely to be nominated. Like I said, you can hit it up. You can vote on their website. You can vote by @ing my @ on Instagram, Deluded Gooner 04 if you're not with, man. You can do it on vote via Twitter. You know, I need my DG Nation to spam that up. Vote on everything. You think I'm not voting on this? My other phone that don't even have a SIM card. I don't even use my iPad too tough apart from reading. Voted on that. Going downstairs, using the laptop. Call up my dad. Vote. Took my siblings' phones. Took my mum's phone. Took everybody's phone. Spamming my family members. Make sure you vote. I need you lot to do this, man. Let's give it a try. We've got 20,000 subscribers, people. If everyone just gave one vote, then we go clear. Please, people. On that note, though, I'm really going to keep it moving. Love each and every time.